everybody. I'm Christy Smith from Virtual Elves, and I'm here today doing a behind-the-scenes recording of our team, and just to give you a bit of an insight into what happens with Virtual Elves and how we operate from the Philippines. Today, I'm starting with the most integral member of our team, Cherry Bonachita, and Cherry has been with us forever and a day, it seems. She knows the business inside and out, and I wanted you to really get to know Cherry and understand what part she plays in the business and where she's come from, and just understand, what goes on behind the scenes. So welcome, Cherry. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Christy. Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. So what we're going to talk about today, I really wanted Cherry to start off by telling us her story prior to starting with Virtual Elves, and tell us a little bit about her background, where she's come from, and what kind of made her take that leap to work with me in the first place. Go ahead, Cherry.
Yes, I started working in 2007. I was a customer service officer in a pharmaceutical company, and I traveled a lot then. And then I discovered that I was pregnant with my second child, so I have to take the early retirement offer of the company. And I'm not the type that just sits down and do nothing, so I have to look for an online opportunity, because back then it was just starting. So I started as an online writer because SEO was popular then. So I started as an SEO writer, doing keywords, putting all these keywords on those articles and submitting to article directories. And from then on, I've learned that there's a lot to be done online. So all opportunities just came doing database management and all those stuff. And I learned it from scratch. Like, you can learn everything online. So that's when I learned as well. And then Christy came in 2010, and she was the one who had been giving me regular work. And she was very patient with me. It's not like I was there as a perfect or experienced VA. I learned everything on my own, and Christy was sort of mentoring me, and that's the reason why I stuck with her, because it's like I'm growing together with her until I trusted her, she trusted me, and then we give whatever we expected from each other. So that's when I grew with Christy, and I started with 5 hours a week and 10 hours a week until I became full time. And I've been with her ever since, because there's just so much opportunities that she has been giving. And I'm pretty sure that she had given a lot of opportunities for other VAs as well. So that's when I started, Christy.
Yeah, amazing. And I remember, very clearly when at the point that I was in my business and, needing to reach out for that help. And it was very daunting for me to go to a freelance site like Odesk at the time and actually approach someone like you to see whether you'd be willing to work with me. And, I was as much learning as you were, and as much, gaining mentoring from you as well, because it was a really, important time in my business and my business growth, to be able to move forward. So, Cherry, once you started working with us at Virtual Elves, just talk me through a little bit about what opportunity that gave you and your family by having that consistent work.
Yeah, because of that consistent work, here in the Philippines, most of the families or the husbands work abroad to gain enough income for the family. Because I was working online, and it seems like I'm working abroad in some sense, but it's virtual. We get enough income for the family that I don't have to let my husband go abroad. I mean, his brothers are all abroad, and I'm the only one. My family is the only one who is all together. And I'm working online. He's working in a brewery company, and it seems that's my goal for my family, to just be intact. I don't want anyone to leave. Otherwise, relationships won't matter, because it's long distance, and I'm not good with long distance relationships. So that's the reason why, while I have a regular job from Virtual Elves, it's helping us. It's helping not only me for my own income, because I don't want to depend to anyone, but it's also helping my family, because of I get to provide whatever they need. and there's regular job at the same time. And I'm also learning. It's not like it's a tedious task or a routinary task that I do every day. It's sort of a progressive learning every day that, how would I know to do WordPress when I'm not uh, a website developer? But I learned it all online, and it's a growth for me. If somebody comes to me and asks, "Do you know how to create a website?" I would say yes, because of that experience, because of that regular opportunity given to me by Virtual Elves.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it's interesting because that story, and I've met Dane, your husband, and your family twice now. And I feel very connected to that. And it took, us working together for probably 4 or 5 years for me to hear that story, about what opportunity that gives you. And that had a profound impact on me last year. And I spoke at the Entourage on stage and I presented that story. And it then impacted so many other business people to know what opportunities us, as business owners in Australia are giving virtual assistants, particularly in the Philippines, and what that means to them. And so, that's a massive part of my business, knowing that not only am I supporting businesses here in Australia, but I'm supporting families in the Philippines so that they can stay together, and, massive, massive impact for me. So, Cherry, tell us a little bit about what you're currently doing for Virtual Elves.
Okay. Yeah. Just to add, before I answer that, just to add, yes, it's been 6 years that I've been with you, and it's been a while. It means that there's long-term opportunity here working virtual. So right now, I'm already the HR manager. When we decided to hire more and provide more opportunities with other VAs, I sort of took the lead now. I recruit the VAs, I manage them, I even mentor them to make sure that they meet clients' expectation like I did, build the trust, be reliable. So from just recruiting and creating the procedures, I also create the policies, how to make the clients happy. What should you do to, you know, um, work like you're working in a corporate setting, although you're working online virtually. So there's this corporate setup that we have established with Virtual Elves, but even though it's virtual, so that trust level should be the same like you're working in an office. That's what I'm trying to build with Virtual Elves. And there I create the documents, I create the procedures, the systems, the policies, and there's we also have performance evaluations, and I sort of set it all up, and with Christy, of course, knowing what the clients really want. So there's really a collaboration, there's a team, and there's also coordination and cooperation from the VAs, because they gladly comply, because they know that by doing this they can work long term. So
Yeah.
that's it.
And I think that's a really important point because, a lot of businesses in Australia will take on a virtual assistant, but they don't have that HR infrastructure. And so then, it's very simple for you as a business owner to actually manage your virtual assistant. But, if you don't have time and you're not keeping up with that, then the virtual assistant is really on their own and they're not accountable to anybody. They're really not, looked after, supported. They're not given any further education and learning unless the business owner gives that to them, directly and specifically. So I do find that the structure that we have set up and that you're, being able to manage is very much building a family group, and one of the things that I love so much is, and I tell our clients this all the time, is that we've created this gorgeous, community of virtual assistants that really lean on each other and support each other. And whilst most of them have never even met each other because they're in different parts of the Philippines, they feel like they know each other personally. We get on Skype every morning and whoever is first up to work will post on there, "Good morning, everybody." And then it just slowly filters through the day. Everyone's saying good morning to each other. And, sometimes I'll put up a little request to go, "Hey guys, what's your word of the week this week? What are you working on?" And I feel instant love. We're not just getting our VAs giving us, generic answers. They're sending hearts and they're sending flowers, emojis. And, there's a real sense of community. And somebody that I spoke to the other day who runs an office out of the Philippines for their virtual assistants said to me, I don't know how you do it, Christy. I don't know how you retain that team, atmosphere and environment within a business when everybody is scattered around the country. And my answer to that is, well, we are a true virtual environment. We have people all over the world, but we have a central place of communication where everybody can feel like they're part of something. And I think that's really important. And Cherry, I think it's important to note that you've really generated that safe place for people to feel like they can do that. Now, another question that I'm going to throw at you from left field. What is something that you are talented in and skilled in that people may not know about you?
Yeah, well, I had a rock band. We were all female when I was in high school. I do the guitar. I was the lead guitarist, and I also choreograph dance. So these two I love. Playing musical instruments, particularly guitar, and dancing. Dancing is part of my exercise. As a virtual assistant, I usually just sit down and face the computer. But to make me healthy, I dance a lot, and I even when I was already married and I had children, I choreographed dance with children or with because when I was working in the pharmaceutical company, I was actually choreographing dance for sales conference or Christmas parties. So I had that passion. So um, sometimes I'm even known as the dancer, more than the guitarist. So that's it. Yeah, I do that a lot, and that's part of my talents. And I also do events organizing and management on the sides.
Mm. I love the guitar. I love the fact that you played in a rock band, a female rock band. And
right.
My daughter Olivia is just starting to learn the electric guitar this year, and she's so excited about it. And I think having skills in music and being able to put yourself up front and not be inhibited by people seeing you dance or sing or play an instrument is such a key skill if you can do it for going forward in life and in business. So I love hearing that whenever you mention it. So how do you manage running a family of 3 children, a husband who works night shift, how do you manage all of that with your business? And then after that, I'm going to ask you, because I know that you also do some pro bono work, and I want to hear more about that. But how do you manage the life and the business side of things?
Yeah, it's really just time management. I believe every one of us has been given 24 hours. So it's really a matter of how many hours you spend for cooking. It should be just 30 minutes. You arrange the house or you clean up the house for 1 hour, and then you sit down at 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock before you take a break, just making sure that everything's organized for the VAs, or everything is, even every clutter has its place. Like whether it's online with the VAs or with the clients' tasks, they just have to be all in place, and it's just a matter of managing how many minutes. So efficiency is another with time management. Efficiency is there, that when you do work, it's not like you're just um hanging around or just studying. It should make sure that there's a result after like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So it's all timed. I even train my children to do that. It's not always watching TV, it's not always playing. There should be time for everything. So that's what I do. That's um at 6 o'clock in the evening, that's a time to eat. So everything becomes a routine to me, and it becomes easy for me because everything has a time, and I love it that way. It's not like there's no time to relax. I have time to relax, actually. So on weekends I don't open my laptop. So, and I'm pretty sure that once my body or my routine is already set in place, it's everything's easy. So that's how I manage. And with families, it's just part of the time that I see every day. So, and it's all done because again, there's efficiency behind it. So that's it.
No, I love that, and I think time management is the biggest. I mean, that's my key skill is time management as well. And I think I would look at my calendar, and it's color coded, and it's everything's in place, and I would look at that a couple of times a day to make sure, so I can see what's coming up. If I know that I have a presentation to do, then I actually block out that time 2 or 3 days before, to give myself an hour each day to prepare for that. So I think preparation in any form is, and routine is a key to success in running both well. So talk to me a little bit about the pro bono work that you've done, because recently, a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned this, and I thought it was very just amazing, the type of work that you're doing.
Yeah, I'm involved in a foundation where we teach financial literacy to poor people. These poor people are rescued from human trafficking, and they are trained to do customer service, grooming, to prepare them to work in an environment where it's corporate in nature, so they can earn at least minimum wage and all those stuff. And the foundation that I'm involved in comes in and tells them how to manage money,
Mm.
because um, sometimes poverty is just in the mind, and most of the time it's just in the mind. It's just a matter of handling the money. So that's what we're passionate about, to teach people how to handle money, because especially with poor, where whenever they have money, it just goes out. It goes out so easily. They can spend it anytime because it's new to them. But we
Mm.
come here and tell them, money is a tool to get what you need, not all that you want, but the need first. And so we teach budgeting, we teach how to manage debts, when to take a loan, and when you can save, which is very important. So we there's a trainer for that. My role is to do some admin work. Again, create procedures, make sure that all the documents are there. They sign a contract. We require something from them, like they need to be able to meet the sessions every day. To And we give match. Like if they save 10 pesos, we give a 10 peso match, so they earn
Wow.
20 peso in all. So even that requires documentation and making sure that all the receipts and all the journals are there. So I do that on the side, and it's just usually every weekend. That's why I still have time for that. Even weekends are taken from me, but it's fine.
It's amazing, Cherry, and that's one of the things that I love so much about how well-rounded you are, and just the charity side of things, and just being fulfilled. You always have come across to me as being completely fulfilled in everything that you do, and you don't do things unless it fulfills you. And I think that's really important, particularly as a virtual assistant, to actually be doing what really, really fills your heart. And I really make sure that when we bring on the virtual assistants into our business, and because you have that intrinsically inside you, you're very conscious of bringing the VAs with the same values into the business as well, which I really love. And it really makes a big difference. So last question before we finish up, what do you see for the future for both yourself and your role within the company?
Yeah, I see long term. Like I really see growing with virtual elves in a sense that there'll be more VAs coming in, and I not only manage like hundreds of them, but be able to create a system where I can manage hundreds of them in a way that it won't be like children running around and I just want to scream. It's not like that. It's just that 100 VAs would just be as organized as they are. So it could be mentoring them, coaching them, making sure that they have their own business with their clients, like they make sure that their clients stick to them as well. So I really see myself with virtual elves long term, growing with you, Christy, finding more opportunities for the VAs here in the Philippines, telling them that this is a career, this is not just a gig, this is a career that they can have all the time. I mean, I've been with virtual elves for 6 years now, so it means it's possible. They cannot just jump from one place to another, one client to another. They can have long-term opportunity if they also give what is expected of them. So that kind of mentoring, that kind of making sure that they have that sense, they have that mindset, so that they can really stay here. Because there's a lot of I've told you about my bro pro bono work. It means that they can also do other things that they love to do with their passion. I mean, they can also choreograph dance if they have that talent, because it's all virtual, but it doesn't mean that they just have to be so complacent. They also have to work it out. So yeah, mentoring side and seeing the company grow, that's the future that I see with Virtual Elves, with me and with you, Christy. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I can guarantee you of that. there's no hesitation there, and that's why you've got such longevity with the company, is because you have that attitude, and that's something that's really important to you. And it doesn't make sense to me to have somebody that doesn't see that as a future for themselves. So thank you so much, Cherry. That has been given, I'm sure, everyone such a lovely insight into who you are, what you do for us. I am so intensely proud of you and how far you have come since we first started working together. And, yes, I keep pushing you, and yes, I keep taking you out of your comfort zone. And, I keep driving what I want from you, because I know that you can handle it, and I know that you can be taken to that point. And it gives me a lot of satisfaction to be able to see you achieve more and more each year as we push through and do more for ourselves. So thank you very much. I am going to finish up here, but if anybody wants ever to get in touch with Cherry and find out more about her, then you know where to find her. Go to the website. Her email address is cherry@virtualelves.com.au. So Cherry is in the fruit. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you at the next interview.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.